Hello everybody and welcome to the Adventures of Drawing. I'll draw a little scene for you today using a variety of pencils, a smudging tool and an eraser. So without further ado, let's go right into this. Get some stuff on here, a hair and some crumbs of whatever. Okay, let's go. So there's not going to be a horizon line today, or there is one, but it's up here, and that means there's not going to be a sky. I want to try a different perspective or angle on the landscape today, and this is going to be it. Looking all the way down to where we don't see the horizon. And so we can see all those elevations in the ground. And I'm going to right now make them a little darker with the 3B pencil. Let's get this one, extend that one a little bit over here. One right there. This one goes down here, this one over there. Gotta make the noises. Okay, just already indicating those so that I do not lose track of them. Okay, up here, I just give this area a light gray value. Not a lot of detail seen up there. And yeah, I'm going to start with the 3B pencil for the structure of the ground right here. So below each apex of the elevation, I'll draw in a couple of lines for some secondary or minor elevations that happen in there. Back there, we can not make out a lot. Not a lot of detail is caught by the eye. What has to be noticed is that a detail or an element, much rather, of the landscape back here that is a certain size appears smaller back there than if it's right in front of us. Therefore, I will make those arcs for the secondary elevations back here smaller than I'm going to make them in the front. At least I hope I'm going to keep that in mind and be aware of it. Sometimes I just ramble on about the theory and don't incorporate it in my own drawing. It has happened, and it's going to happen again. But yeah, for now, just smaller, going a little bigger right here. And I don't want to cover much of these areas, just the area right below the apex. give it some elevations back there. Right here, let's give it a little zigzag detail there. This one down here, gotta remember to go bigger now. Maybe like so. And then we've got this thing right here. Okay, maybe like so. And I want there to be a change in elevation down here, but we cannot see the apex of any hill. So this is actually going to be a groove from this hill. It's curving down here, and then where we stand, the ground goes up again. So let's say right here, this area is, wait, actually, I'm thinking about making it come in from the left. Oh, now that I've indicated all this way, let's just make it go all the way through. Now, yeah, so there are those secondary elevations and changes in inclination that I'm going to indicate with the 3B pencil. Maybe like so. Okay, this is the area coming up towards us where we stand on, and then this line right here, this edge, is the lowest part of the groove. And there are a couple of details up there that are a little bit dark, but above it, it's going to be really light. And just to really get this lowest area, make it as visible as possible, I'm going to use the 7B pencil and go along here again. Maybe like so. It doesn't really look like any terrain, any elevation, but that's what I came up with. That's what I think is a beginning of learning to draw this type of stuff. So that's what I'm going with. Okay, now back here, I'll go in with the HB pencil and just extend those hills, those bumps, those elevations back here, so they don't look almost detailless. I want that to be detailed to go down towards the next elevation below them. So I know I talk a lot about not leaving any area of the drawing completely blank, but that's going to happen today. I'll leave those areas directly above the ridges blank. Just to get one more level of gradient of the values in here. And also, of course, the rule that you don't leave anything blank is not carved in stone. It's just something I generally go by. You don't have to do it, especially if you do line work. Then you're going to have your lines that are dark, and at any point where there's no line, you're going to have the completely white and light areas of your piece of paper. So yeah. Okay, working my way down slowly, trying to get a gradient a little bit more just below the darker areas. Maybe like this. Some in here. Quickly checked something in the stream. Okay. Now, don't know how I'm going to fill this entire area. Maybe just with some random lines. Yeah, that should do it for now. Okay. Now I'm imagining we are standing in a forest. So I'm going to have a lot of trees. And back there, since the angle back there allows for us to see a wider area, we can see a lot of trees back there. Those look like they're placed really regularly. That's really not what I like. I want them to look natural. Let me try and get some irregularity in there. One right here. With this, I'm just indicating the locations. A little bit more back here, maybe. Okay. Let's make this an entire tree. Okay, now that should be it for the trees in the background. Now I'm not going to bother putting in a light side for those. I just make those lines a little wider so they look like tree trunks. Really got a lot going on right here. Hope this is going to look like a really dense area of the forest. Just make those lines a little bit wider. Maybe a little bit more right here. Oh, like so. This one as well, since it's more in front than those up there. This one's a little more close to us as well. So is this one. and this one right here. Oh, wanted those to be 2, but they're so close together that we can't see a gap in them. So it looks like a really big tree in the back. And this one, and this one. Okay, now let's add some detail to the ground just below each tree. Since otherwise I feel like they look like they're floating. Also, this just adds some nice detail, I think. Some more detail on the ground. Okay. Now for the next layer, I'm going to indicate some more trees. Gotta keep it a little calmer now though, since right there we don't see that many. Okay, I'll do this layer close to the foreground as well. Let me just put in maybe one. Yeah, let's just have one tree right here and another one over here. Let's have those 3 in the close foreground and then with a couple of those in the midground right here. So now I'm going to put in a little light side. That's why I'm erasing the area to the left of those lines. Each line is the indication of a tree trunk. Okay. This one right here. Second to last one right there. And then I've got this one right here. Knock off the residue. Get rid of all that. Okay. Now I'll add a shadow side to each of those tree trunks. Just using the 3B pencil. And I'm leaving a little light area to the very right of the tree trunks. I'm not going into a lot of detail. Just indicate those trunks right there. Indicate the shapes, the lights and the shadows. Okay, let's now add the detail on the ground. And then go on to those trees a little closer to us. Make them a little wider. Okay, that one right there. All right, same procedure, just add a little bit of shadow. Over there. Okay. Now I want a little bit more detail in the ground right here. So we can start to see the quality of the ground. We see the shapes of some leaves that lie there. Make sure to again indicate some ground at the base of each tree to make it look like they stand on something. They're not floating. And then indicate some areas of the ground once and again, just anywhere in there. Okay, right here in the foreground, I want a large tree. This is the base, and this is going to be the trunk going up there. Okay, now I've got an area that I don't have to be worried about. Don't have to fill in the structure of the ground there. Just saving myself some time. But right here, on the ridge of this elevation, just like when I draw grass, I go along the entire ridge, because up there the grass, respectively the leaves, are seen against the brighter area behind it. Something for this tree right here. Something coming out from behind of the large tree in the foreground. Maybe more like an area right here, like this. Something in here. And then let's put in some details. Just some individual bits and bobs every now and again. Okay. Now let's go for this large specimen of a tree right here. Erase everything that's behind it, especially to the right side where there's going to be the light area of the tree. To the right side it doesn't matter too much, since I'm going to add a lot of graphite there. That's going to cover up most, if not all of the things that are behind it. But to the left side there's not going to be a lot of graphite. So anything that's back there would remain, and then the tree would look like it's made of glass. It's transparent. And I don't want that. Okay. I'm not sure about the roots. Maybe they go a little bit like this, and then there's one right here. And that's all of the roots. Maybe 3 large roots down here. Okay, going in with the 3B pencil on the shadow side. I've got a lot of ground to cover, so I'm just going up and down here. But I'm already zigzagging a little bit to go for a little bit of structure in here. Already indicating the shape of this root. Okay, this one as well. Now, let's go for the rest of the trunk. Right here in the middle, I'm going to leave some more areas blank. start and create those mid values. Maybe get some more structure in there like this. Okay. That should be enough for the lights. I'm going to use the HB pencil. Going to fill in the light areas that remained right here in the middle a little bit. And then I'm going into this light area, also just going up and down mostly, but then adding some of those small zigzags as a little bit of an extra structure. Okay, down here, down there, and then we've got this root right here. That's really dark. To the left, gotta go in a little darker there with the 3B pencil, like so. Get rid of the ground back there. And now I want the shadow area to be really, really dark. So I'll go in there with the 7B pencil and make the very left of this tree even darker. Also, with this pencil I can add a little bit more structure right here. Maybe like so. Okay. Alright, now all that's left is the ground down here. All sorts of leaves lying down there. In here as well, in between the roots. Got some leaves. A little something over here to the left. Now it does actually look like the terrain goes down here, in my eye at least. So I guess I was indeed successful in creating that illusion. In the beginning I was rather skeptical of whether this would turn out the way I wanted or not, but I think I did pull it off. Okay. Now for the darkest area in here, I will use the 7B pencil once more and just get in a couple more leaves. A little bit more structure on the ground down here. A little bit more detail. Over here to the right side of the big tree. And then transition to the other side of the groove. Maybe like so, where the terrain goes up again. Okay. Now let's connect this right here. This down there. Okay. And that's it for this scene. So let's clean up the edges. Doesn't look like there are too many trees. It always turns out different than what I imagine it to be. But I guess with enough training, I will be able to plan and compose the drawings better and put onto the piece of paper what I envisioned. Also, I have to keep in mind that even for better or the best artists, there's always a discrepancy between what they have in mind and what's going to appear on their piece of paper or canvas. Of course, there are artists who are very precise and very skilled, and where the difference between what they envision and what they bring to life is very small, but of course, practically, there's always going to be a difference, and we have to live with that. Just like I have to live with drawing crappy signatures. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this little scene. If you find yourself coming back to the stream, please consider subscribing. Give the video a like if you like what you see or like what you heard. Drop down in the comments to tell me what you think about what I'm doing here. With all that said, thanks again for being here, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.